somewhere in the bowels of the city that never sleeps,
Kevin McCullough, radio host with Salem Media,
is a man also not sleeping.
Syndicated radio talk show host Kevin McCullough.
And that guy would like a word with you.
Many of you know him as Hoaxstradamus.
Of course that Kevin show is going to be great. The only thing that could be greater, of course, would be that Donald show. But we don't have that, so we have that Kevin show.
Featuring the music of Dick Tunney and the Dream in Color Orchestra. Yet to come this hour on That Kevin Show, she's an avenging angel who doesn't want to be left behind. Sam Sorbo. Also in the spotlight, Zach and Maggie White return with Caesar said to Brutus. And it's time for Assignment Desk Weekend. All this hour. And now, live from Times Square, where one Andrew Lloyd Webber's Phantom is another's bad Cinderella, here's That Kevin.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you. Hour 2 underway. And it's true. Sunday night of this weekend, Phantom goes bye-bye from New York. The last time that the music of the night will be heard, at least for the foreseeable future. And Andrew Lloyd Webber in the town yesterday. Mayor Adams, after he named the Rat Czar somebody other than me, gave the keys to the city to Andrew Lloyd Webber. But he's not going to be off Broadway because Phantom's out, Bad Cinderella's in, and that's where it's going from there. So it'll be interesting to see. I asked some people yesterday, I said, how long do you think Phantom will be away? And the bets were anywhere from just a couple of years to 10 years. It's just so many people's first Broadway show. So anyway, kind of an interesting time and moment for the city. Well, it's that time. Let's take a look at the headlines. All right, we've got a lot to get to tonight, and I kid you not, some doozies for us this week. It's one of those things where when you just understand the importance of the culture remaining on any level sane. You heard about this guy, the non-binary Department of Energy person that had worked for the Biden administration. He had been caught up. Well, yeah, because he has the he had been caught up in a little bit of a mess because evidently he stole some very high priced luggage that had a lot of jewelry and very expensive clothes and some other things inside. And when he finally got caught for it, of course, he had to resign from the government, et cetera. Well, they've come down with the decision in his case, and he's avoided jail time. But the thing that sealed it for him, they almost didn't get him because at first they were looking for a bald man wearing a T-shirt and a pair of jeans. And it turned out that this bald man wearing a T-shirt and pair of jeans had been wearing dresses his entire time in D.C. So the costume, the disguise, it didn't quite work. Also, it was a dead giveaway when he kept putting the bag on and off the luggage thing, looking around, trying to see if somebody was watching, took it off, put it back. They said that on average, if they do that on the security tape more than 2 times, it's pretty sure that they're guilty. Anyway, he paid a fine, $3,600, which was the cost of the bag, brand new, and had to pay some additional for all the stuff that was inside that he absconded with as well, and a $500 court fine. So anyway, all right, here's Mike Pence wondering what just happened. He had stepped out onto the stage of the National Rifle Association's annual conference, and people began to boo him. And the boos tried to drown out the applause. Mr. Pence handling it with complete aplomb, grinned and smiled. And then someone hollered out from the first row, "We love you, Mike." And he said, I don't have a chaperone with me. I can't accept that compliment right now. And moved on. I'm kidding. That's not what he said. He said, "I love you too," gave a speech, went on. Now, his former boss, Mr. Trump, came out a little bit later and said, I heard you guys made some news earlier today with all the booing from Mike Pence. And he said, you don't need to do that. He's a good guy. He's a good guy. And after he said he was a good guy 2 times, he went back to saying, but I did hear you made news. So that was that. This story is a mystery because in the circumstance in which the coach that is described here took place, she was evidently the head of the track team, and people couldn't figure out why the football player was allowed to run the final leg of the relay. He wasn't the fastest guy, but I don't know. She's going to go away for a while because, like so many, these teachers did not exist when I was in school. So many have now crossed that barrier, and she had with the track star person and not allowed to do that. It's still against the law. I know we've changed a lot of other rules, but teachers still can't have sex with their students. It's generally frowned upon. Finally, here's Meghan Markle. Notice the look on her face as she is still pondering how she could try to figure out the deep mystery of where Oprah Winfrey actually gets her Krispy Kremes. You know, what store she goes to get the Krispy Kreme. Actually, Meghan made other news this week. She was she openly said, well, I'm not going to attend the king's coronation. To which the king said, don't remember asking you. No, Harry's going to attend, but solo. Not taking Meghan, not taking the kids, the king's grandkids, which I don't know. I think that's wrong. It's a once in a lifetime thing. You should be able to go see your grandfather, even if you don't remember it, just to know that you were there. I think that's a pretty big deal. Anyway, that's this weekend's assignment desk update. All right, you know that we have been very busy, active, trying to liberate human slaves. It's my one cause for the year that we are covering here on That Kevin Show. And I had a pretty good update for you this week. We have now liberated, we have spoken for at least 17 human slaves of the 192 whose names we have. And thanks to your generosity, 17 of those will be liberated in the very near term. I wanted to direct your attention to a new story tonight. Take a listen. For those of you that know, we have been doing all that we can to help liberate human trafficking and human slaves with Christian Solidarity International this year. It's our annual cause, and we have 192 names of women that need our assistance this year. Women that have experienced some excruciating things. And I want to say thank you to those of you that have already called, 888-342-1010. We have helped liberate more than a dozen now this year. But I want to tell you the story of Ayak. Ayak was born in northern Sudan. She was born into slavery. Her mother and father had been taken from South Sudan when they were just young kids. And she grew up as a slave's child. She saw her mother regularly be beaten by her Arab slave master. Then there was the day that her father was told to go to the farm to work, but because of how sick he was, he physically couldn't walk. His master got so angry at him, he said, "You dirty, dirty, dirty dog. If you don't go to the farm, you will die." He couldn't walk, so the Arab master shot my father dead right in front of me, says Ayak when she tells her story later. As she was growing up and getting a little bit older, that master sold her out to another master who raped her repeatedly, who forced her to commit genital mutilation on herself, and who told her that she would not get to keep the children that she had from that slave master. She would do hard work every day, carry water long distances, clean clothing, clean things in the house, take abuse from the Arab master's wife. She said, "I have seen so many slaves in the area who face the same thing as me." She said, "But then one day a retriever found me. I was walking to the well to fetch water. He asked me to leave and go with him. His name was Osman Bashir, and he had many men with him. They took me to his camp and brought me back to South Sudan. Friends, that's the story of an actual liberation of an actual slave. And that's the people that we help when you call 888-342-1010. There are 175 women that we know we can yet save this year. We just need your help. 888-342-1010. 888-342-1010. Help us liberate every slave right now. For $250, you not only affect their liberation, but you set them up with everything they need for a new life in their home in South Sudan, including grain, seed, utensils, other things that they need to create a life for themselves. And you do it when you call 888-342-1010. Or go to bringherhome.org.
Stick around for more of That Kevin. Next, That Kevin Show with Kevin McCullough.